SimTheWorld here. We are back playing PC Building Simulator, the Esports expansion. So last episode, it's been a little bit since the last one came out. We had finished up, I believe, the second week with our tournament. So this is starting the last week. Let's jump in and check our emails. So we've got Ace, ROG, Asus messaged us. They want 2080 supers in all of the PCs for the gamers. That's going to be a big request. Boy, what I'd give for a 2080 super right now. And as for Evelyn, she mentions we've got a $9,000 budget. That might get us two 2080 supers if we're lucky. They're congratulating us about Dollar Grims. That's good. Evelyn, she has sent us so much for team building, am I right? This is exactly why I don't normally allow LAN parties mid-season. Okay, maybe not exactly. Never had a player fry a few $1,000 in equipment before, but you get the idea. Looks like I'm going to have to break out the big guns this week. An Evelyn Baker camaraderie special. I want every player to customize somebody else's computer. Interesting. Sounds nuts. Yeah, I think so. Well, maybe it is, but honestly, I'm out of ideas, so what the hell. I'll email around to let them know. So as we can see, this is going to be a big week of different color lightings and cables and probably messing up other people's computers, which we'll fix at the end of the week. That's my prediction. Let's see how it turns out. So our first order is for Please No. Having some issues after the game finished this weekend. His build was crashing under load, throwing a bunch of warnings. He said he saw the last message was something about a hard drive failure. We'll take a look at that. Get it booted up and running. Test with the OCCT. Make sure it's stable. Seems simple enough for me. And then Conqueror. We haven't heard that name in a while. Your new team doing well. You think you could help me make some upgrades? I'm hoping to be able to benchmark 8748. Vents look a bit clogged. Heard of AMD. They're meant to be pretty good. Yeah, I have heard of AMD. Certainly would like a new AMD chip for my PC, but alas, we'll be putting it into yours. So we'll take this request for some extra cash. Now that we're through, I guess we should take a look at our text messages. They always blow up our phone. So, please no, haven't you heard what PC I'm supposed to be customizing yet? So, can I make one request for my own rig? He wants the Asus ROG Maximus X Formula motherboard. Ooh, that's a nice motherboard. I'm a little jealous. And forklift. He wants us to customize Please No's rig. Pretty weird idea. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Not very creative. Maybe you can keep the Spanish colors, yellow cables, 4 yellow lights, and throw in a second GPU? Might need a better PSU to cope with it. 1000 watts should do. How about the Antic High Current Gamer Extreme Series? Are you kidding me? Wow. We're gonna have to squeeze two 2080s in here. He has a 2070 super in here. That would have been convenient. Unfortunately, I guess it's a good thing we're taking everything out of the PC now. We were going to have to figure out what was wrong with it. And something tells me it just wasn't the hard drive. Which we have 2 SATA drives in here, so probably one of those, and we'll check the memory. We're going to be putting two 2080 supers in here, and this PC is going to be baller. So let's get these parts out. Alright, so this comes out the front. Also take a look at, make sure nothing else is broken. So the 8700's good. Cooler is good. Motherboard I don't care about. The RAM is good. At least we get to keep the 2070. We might need to sell that. Need another SSD, not a big deal. and he'll get the new power supply. Perfect. Let's jump into the store and get a shopping list together. Let me start with the power supply. I'm going to get the cart together. I'll be back in a second. Big oof right here. Oh, look at this is over half our budget on just for this PC. I did throw in, we need to put in two 2080 Supers into this PC. I should probably, I'm sure it is, yeah, we can do SLI with that. I just want to make sure before we get involved. I'm sure the developers wouldn't do that to us. Make sure that this, yeah, the Crossfire SLI compatible. So everything should jive there. I mean, this is all top of the end hardware, so I'm sure it all works together fine. So this is good to go. Yeah, the motherboard should be fine for Coffee Lake. Yep. That then leaves us with, before we put the order in, we've got the other PC. So this was instantly delivered to us. We need to benchmark it and get it up to score. So I want to take a look and see what components we have in here first. Oh, it's not telling us the parts list. It does give us 1,700 to work with. So let's see. I'm going to dust this out, then we'll take a look at what's in here. So much dust. You'd think people would take better care of their PCs. These are literally gold mines these days. The average cost for a graphics card is astronomical, and that's assuming you can find one. I don't even think there's many being put out there being scalped, if I'm honest. Oh, you know what? My ADD moment right here. Let me jump over here. Totally forgot we need a SSD. I saw the other drive and that just totally reminded me we needed one in the cart. Would have been my luck. So I think, so we have Radeon 7 and 8 gigs of RAM. You know what? I'm going to get the tests loaded. We're going to run a score. I want to see what it scores before we do anything. So this is an interesting turn of events. I ran the score, didn't overclock, didn't do anything, and it beats the requested score. So we're going to ship this right back to him. This is really funny. Easy money, I suppose. I guess that's our fee for installing the software and double checking. Especially since, you know, the nice thing to do would be to upgrade, but he's got a 5900X in here, so that's the top of the line MAD processor. He's got a Radeon 7 GPU, so, well, it could be upgraded. I don't think they currently have the most up-to-date card in the game yet, so that being the, I believe, the 6800, 6900 GPUs. So this is ready to go. We don't need to purchase anything. The parts list is in. Let us get these delivered. And you know what? Let's get this delivered today. I know what you're thinking. I'm wasting money. Well, we just made a bunch of money without doing anything other than a couple tests. And I think the way to combat some of the issues we've been having, or I've been having, I should say, is to take this a little bit slower, make sure we don't have as many issues going on. Specifically, I'm worried about losing track and having too many requests coming in at the same time. Since we already know this week is going to be difficult with all our players asking for different customizations on the fly, I think if we can get these done sooner than later. That will help me keep my head on straight. And of course, that's good for everybody. Let me get the memory sticks out. We might need to open these. Second and fourth channels is normally the ones you want to use. Don't stack them all next to each other. I believe he also had a CPU cooler. He had a water cooler. This is a fantastic PC, I'll tell you what. I am certainly jealous. Let's get these. We can sell the broken one. We'll get the new one in. Get the other SSD in. I don't know why he has two SSDs, but that's alright. I've got a couple in my PC as well. And graphics cards. The Strix cards. Oh, these are beautiful cards. These are so expensive, though. But it'll be interesting to see the performance he gets. Yes. I took off the wrong slots. Let me put the right ones back in. I like to make sure the PC looks good. Unless, of course, I don't like the player. Then we'll go out of our way to make it more difficult. Oh, this PC is phenomenal. Hopefully 1,000 watts is enough power to take care and run those two cards. Like, this is a lot of power going on right here. Let me make sure there's no other cables to plug in. I think we're good. Let's get this booted up. Are we supposed to overclock it? Didn't specify any overclock, so I'm not going to. We'll run the usual suite. Get that installed. Doesn't say to install anything either. I'm going to put SOCAR on here just in case. That is the game they are supposed to play, so it makes sense to have the PC ready to go. And we are finished. Let's double check, make sure that satisfies the requirement. We're good to go. I don't think we had a budget on this either. Let me double check. Can't imagine we did. Yeah, no budget. Cool. He's good to go. We'll finish off our day and check out day 2. This week's going to get hectic. I can feel it. Right, we didn't, okay, the phone's already going off. Somebody needs us. Let's check it out before I get too far. It's Dollar Grimm's flipping out. Just heard about Evelyn's plan to let everyone customize everyone else's computers. No, thank you. I'll stick to the requests of my own rig, thanks. Can you get it to me by the end of tomorrow? I don't want to risk anyone else getting a chance to fiddle with it. Not that I don't trust my team, of course, but you know. Alright, so we already got to get her computer done quickly, so that's good for us. We have the requests for Dollar Grimm's. She might be good at frying electronics, but she still needs a decent computer to bring home the bacon. She's reportedly having some issues with the case fans. Has to take a look at them. Can you install a couple replacement fans? Probably need to dust it out. Make sure she has 32 gigs of RAM and overclock her CPU. As long as it's stable, it'll be happy. Want this machine benchmarking at least 11,000. Oh wow, big number, big number. Yeah, they didn't specify any overclock here, so very interesting. And as for forklift, he only gets a benchmark to 10,000. Interesting. And he needs Team Group Delta RGB 1 terabyte hard drive. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we'll get those parts in the cart. I'm going to start with Dollar Grimm's PC, since that needs to get done quickly anyhow. I usually like to keep their PCs up when I'm done. Oh, did I not? Oh, I didn't complete that order. Oops. Well, that's due. We kept it a day extra. That's all right. We'll take the money now. Now let's get to work. So, case fans are bad. We need to blow out the case, get all this dust out. I'm going to come up with a plan of attack, and I'll be back with you guys in just a second. Alright, so we are back. I double-checked a few things. So the first thing we can do pretty quickly is... should switch out my cables to red. But then... she had a 2070 Super in there, so we need to upgrade it to a 2080. So that's good to go. Then we need to upgrade to 32 gigs of RAM. Of course, I cheaped out in the past and just filled it with 4 slots of 4 gigabyte sticks. So we need to get rid of all 4 and buy a complete new set of RAM. I also noticed she has an AMD chip in here, the 3700X. So that may or may not be an issue. We're going to find out pretty soon here. At least with the overclock. Yeah, especially with the overclock. We might need to upgrade more than just that. But we'll give that a spin first off. Then for the case fans, let me throw in a couple Corsairs. We might need to take the front end off. There we go. Can we sneak one on the bottom there? Yes, we can. Fantastic. That worked well. So with the fans in, we need to order the RAM, and then we'll be good to go. I've already got 4 sticks of 8 gigabyte at 3600 megahertz RAM, since it is an AMD build. At least in real life, having a higher speed memory does make a difference. Of course, in-game, I'm not expecting it to. So before we get started and send that order in, I want to take a look at Forklift's PC. You might have noticed I already had the SSD in there. Looks like, oh, that's going to be terrible. There we go. We need to replace the CPU. What's he have here, a 1600? Well, we're going to have to upgrade it anyhow if we're going to hit that benchmark. Same with the graphics card. PSU should be good. He should have plenty of memory. Let me see what kind of processors I have here. Yeah, the 1600 is broken. You know what? I might just, we got plenty of money. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to upgrade his CPU as well. Seems to make the most sense to me. That way we can get something that will score a bit higher. And then worst case scenario, if the AMD processor in Dollar Grimm's PC doesn't work out, we can just swap it for the one that I know we can do. So let me see what I have on hand. We're going to get an Intel, something we can overclock pretty far. Do I have anything that will... no, I don't want that. Yeah, we can reuse this one. That'll be perfect. The Asus TUF. And we keep with the sponsor theme. So that means I'm going to throw in... Ooh. Let's get a nice... fancy... I want to see what they have on hand too. If they've upgraded any... Yeah, we'll go with the 10900K. That should fit. No, it's not. No, it's not. I take that back. We need to get a new motherboard. Yeah, we want to stick with Coffee Lake, so the 9900K is the chip we'll put in the cart. We already have the SSD. I don't think there's anything else we need. I think we're good to go. And we'll do same-day delivery again, too. Just so we can be sure. Money's getting tight, but that's okay. Let us start over here. Let's throw the new memory in. And once we get this started, I'm going to run our tests and see what we score. And at that point, we'll come back and I'll show you guys what it looks like. As you can see, we had no problem hitting that 11,000 on Dollar Grimm's PC. We were able to overclock the CPU. I think we got it to 44 megahertz on the CPU, and everything else, I overclocked the graphics card as much as I could. So if you guys are using the standard graphics card without overclocking, you may or may not have the same results. So this is perfect. Our PC is done, ready to go. We got all the new fans in. We had no requests to do anything with hers, so seems like we are out of the woods. I'm not going to change the wallpaper. We'll leave the game on, and we'll send it away as is. Done a day early, too. Fantastic. So we're going to put this back on the shelf on our done PC list. I just like to make sure it finishes rebooting. Plus, we also have this one still running the test. It's almost done. So we put the Asus TUF motherboard in. We put in the RAM again. Put in the new 2080. I had to pull the hard drive or the power supply out and put it back in. It was taking a minute to update that I diagnosed and fixed the PC. It's kind of strange. But we were able to overclock the GPU to the same exact settings as I did for Dollar Grims. So unsurprising, this one actually runs a bit better since we put the 9900K in it. So again, we'll remove all the programs here, and this one will be done too. Though I expect somebody will be messaging us to customize this PC in a weird way. I feel some shenanigans afoot. And with that, I think we're wrapping up today as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We're going to end it here and come back tomorrow. With that, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates of future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.